Dear friends, today we'll discuss the role of transnational actors in international relations. Now, we know that the role of transnational actors is not new in international relations. There have been multinational corporations. For example, East India Company was a multinational corporation which had a very big role to play in international relations. It had business interests spread across continents. It was having one of the largest fleet, and transnational actor is any such organization or a body or an association of individuals which is able to build interactions or build uh, relations with nations transcending borders. They are called as transnational actors. So if any business organization has interests which are spread across the nation borders, it can be called as a transnational actor. If there is any organization which has functions to perform which are beyond national borders, it can be called as uh, a transnational non-governmental organization. Okay, and if there is any grouping of nation states which is having functions to perform which are beyond the boundaries of a nation state, it may be called as an intergovernmental organization. All these are different types of transnational actors. And you know that their impact on international relations today is considered to be very, very serious and very significant, primarily because of the recent developments in information and communication and also transport technology, and also because of the ongoing process of globalization which has built in a complex interdependence, and it has created a huge level of functional relationships between nation states, and which has integrated nation states in an unprecedented manner. These are the several reasons as to why transnational actors have come to play a very big role in today's international relations. Moreover, um, it was also argued by a good number of strategic experts that the recent thesis on end of history, which points out at a fact of emerging set of ideas, or a convergence of ideas between the nation states, has built a new consensus towards processes which are acceptable at international levels or transnational levels today. And that's one of the reasons again which has been put forward as a big factor in the proliferation of the non-state actors or transnational actors. And also, according to Nye and Keohane, complex interdependence between nations also has given rise to a renewed role of transnational actors. Okay, Robert Keohane, in his very popular book Transnational Relations and World Politics, and Nye and Keohane together have come out with another work called Power and Interdependence. They all have highlighted the role of transnational actors in international relations. Okay, and we know that we have different types of transnational actors. We have transnational business corporations, which are called very popular as multinational corporations, and or transnational corporations. They are a very, very big influence on international relations today. Apart from that, we have international non-governmental organizations, which are also playing a very big role today. And we have intergovernmental organizations like United Nations Organization or World Trade Organization. They're all called as transnational actors, though their mode of operation and the purposes for which they are created are completely different. We can broad them all into one small grouping called transnational actors. Uh, Apart from these, international terrorist organizations also can be grouped as transnational actors. All those players or actors in international relations which transcend national boundaries and which have interests spread across various nations, operating at an international level, are called as transnational actors. Okay. Now, first we'll take a look at the type of role that multinational corporations are playing as far as international relations are concerned. Now, we know that multinational corporations are those which are based in one state, which is called as home state, with affiliated branches or subsidiaries or auxiliaries operating in another country, okay, or in several other countries. And we know that these are corporations which have their operations spread across various countries with fixed facilities and fixed personnel in different countries. Okay, these are what are called as multinational corporations. There is no accepted definition of multinational corporations, and the most important ones are, of course, industrial corporations, which are considered to be the most powerful of all the MNCs. Apart from that, we have oil companies, we have automobile industries, then we have electronics companies, and also we have services companies like banking institutions which have overseas operations and all this. Now these are what are called as multinational corporations. They have transnational or sometimes even global business interests. They are having command over great resources. It is estimated that these multinational corporations account for about 80% of capital flows. Capital flows to an extent of about approximately $1.7 trillion per day. You know, capital flows across foreign exchange markets account to approximately $1.7 trillion, and 80% of such capital flows are accounted by these multinational corporations. It just shows the sheer magnitude of these. These multinational corporations account for about 80% of the global trade. The transnational trade. About 80% of transnational trade is through these multinational corporations. They are so powerful that they are sometimes even able to control governments. It is said that the major multinational corporations have revenues which are greater than most of the countries across the entire world, except for only 1/5 of the global community of nations. Only about 1/5 of 200 plus countries in the world have annual revenues which are more than the major multinational corporations. So that's the scale, the size, and the reach of these multinational corporations. They are sometimes so powerful that they can even control governments of nation states. The banana republics of Central America, they were controlled by a good number of multinational corporations, and a good number of multinational corporations erected puppet regimes in North Africa also. They are so very powerful in international relations. They also provide revenues. They also provide investments to the poorer nations. The complex role of these multinational corporations in international relations can be understood through a very detailed study of them. Very broadly, there are two views about the role of multinational corporations. There is one view which says that these MNCs operate virtually as agents of home governments. Okay, and both multinational corporations and the governments in their respective home states, they both reinforce each other, they strengthen each other. Governments take care of the interests of these multinational corporations, and multinational corporations on the other hand support these governments. Okay, and that's the reason why we see governments trying to create favorable conditions for their multinational corporations in other states through agreements and through treaties and so forth. Okay, and there is the second view which says that multinational corporations act autonomously, globally, and with their own interests, having no loyalty to any of the nation states. Now, this is the second view about the role of multinational corporations in international relations. Okay, and as I told you, these multinational corporations. Now, the truth is somewhere in between. Multinational corporations are sometimes autonomous because sometimes they can have interests which are paradoxically, or which are sometimes opposing to their own home states. And there are sometimes when multinational corporations are abetted, aided by the home states for furthering their business interests. So truth lies somewhere in between. Okay. However, the matter of the fact is that of all the transnational actors, multinational corporations, they have emerged as the most powerful, and accounting for 80% of the global trade, accounting for 80% of the global capital flows. Okay, and about 30% of global production of goods and services is accounted by these multinational corporations. It just shows the sheer size, the strength of these corporations. And they have emerged in recent times as the most powerful of all the transnational actors. Only 1/5 of the states, as I told you a little earlier, exceed the largest multinational corporations in terms of revenue. Okay, and the largest intergovernmental organization, that is, United Nations, does not compare anyway with the multinational corporations. In 2007, the largest multinational corporation, the Exxon Mobil, had an annual revenue of approximately $311 billion, and at the same time, United Nations organization had an annual revenue of around $3 billion. That shows what strength and what financial resources these multinational corporations are able to command. The political role of these multinational corporations include their role in formulating, in influencing the policy of the home state, in building relations between the home and the host countries. Host countries are those countries in which these multinational corporations have invested or have business interests, or those countries which have invited these multinational corporations to set up their subsidiaries. They are called as host countries. Multinational corporations have played a very big role in building relationship between the home and the host countries. And also, multinational corporations have also played a role in international relations in the form of intervening, okay, in nation states in North Africa, in Central America, directly sometimes, and sometimes through the aid of their home states. They have been interventionists. They have played a role of interventionist force. And also another aspect of these multinational corporations is the activities of these multinational corporations have sometimes led to a backlash in the host countries in the form of economic nationalization. Okay, economic nationalism. Okay, there have been movements by indigenous population in third world countries against the activities of multinational corporations on uh, trying to reassert their control and their sovereign right over their natural resources and so forth. Now, this has been the nature of the impact that multinational corporations have had on international relations in recent times. Next type of transnational actor are what we call as international non-governmental organizations and intergovernmental organizations. The international non-governmental organizations are institutionalized private organizations, okay, which have played a very very big role in recent times in building a global consciousness against issues, in building global consensus on a good number of issues related to environment, arms race, humanitarian intervention, and so forth. Now these are approximated to be around 31,000 organizations, such organizations in the entire world, and these are institutionalized private organizations. They are outside the purview of the state, and they also have considerable size of command on resources, and the essential aspect of these international non-governmental organizations is that they build interactions with citizens directly, with social groups, with states, as well as with other intergovernmental organizations. So these are operating at multiple levels, and that's the reason why their impact has been more, okay, in shaping public opinion or global opinion, right? There are several environmental groups like Greenpeace, humanitarian organizations like Amnesty International, Human Rights Watch, political groups. There are economic groups and cultural groups as well. All these are playing a very important role in international relations in recent times. They have been a big factor in propagating a good number of transnational social movements. Movements for establishing international criminal court. Okay, movements against global pollution, and movements against authoritarian regimes or democratization. All these are movements which have been fostered, which have been uh, motivated by activities of these international non-governmental organizations. They have played a very very big role in creating a global civil society. Okay, and they also play a role in participation in policy formulation. They are invited, and their role is officially acknowledged by even United Nations organization. Okay, so this is about the international non-governmental organizations. We also have international terrorist networks like Al Qaeda, who have had transnational links and transfer of monies and transfer of personnel and so forth. They also have gone to play a very very big role, though their role is not institutionalized role. Their role is not recognized. Okay, the other important type of national organization are what are called as intergovernmental organizations. Okay, now the members of these intergovernmental organizations are nation states, and they amount to around 6,000. We have United Nations Organization, WTO, IMF, World Bank. We have military alliances like NATO. We have political groupings like SAARC or Organization of African Union. We have coordinating uh, uh, agencies which coordinate policies between the nation states like Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, and all these are another type of intergovernmental organizations. Okay, another type of transnational organizations. Very broadly, the kind of role that these transnational organizations are playing in international relations is that firstly they are in fact affecting a change in the nature of international relations. The state-centric international relations is now slowly undergoing a change. Now all these organizations are now beginning to play a very very big role in international relations, so much so that today questions are being arisen that the concept of sovereignty is slowly being outflanked. The concept of nationalism is giving way to internationalism. Okay, Nye and Cohen declared that the transnational actors in international relations have impacted foreign policy agendas by acting as transmission belts, so that ideas, information, and the interests of one nation state are transmitted to the other states, and they also have promoted international cooperation. They have promoted international collaboration, and they have also sometimes been sources of tension and conflict. They have been the primary reason for a reduction of importance on strategic and political issues and increased economic diplomacy across the nation states. Okay, and they have gone a very long way in creating, a global civil society with global consciousness. This very broadly is the role played by transnational actors in international relations. Thank you so much, dear friends.